Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Before we get into this video, if you could just hit that big button down below, that would massively help me out because we are trying to hit 10k before the start of the season. Today's video though is going to be about Sean Longstaff. Now Leeds have been linked with a £10 million move for the player plus 2 million in add-ons. By the time this video comes out, it could actually be across the line or he could be having his medical. But the point is of this video, we're going to talk about what type of player he is, how he might fit in at Leeds United, and my opinions on it. Basically. So Sean Longstaff then is a bit of a different mould of player first of all than what we have been looking at throughout the rest of the window. Obviously earlier in the window we were looking at players like Habib Diarra and Noah Siddiqui, who are both players who are more of a carrier of the ball, somebody who's going to drive you forward, somebody who's going to get in the box and make those third man runs beyond the striker to score goals. Both of those players kind of fit that mould a little bit more. Sean Longstaff seems to be a little bit of a pivot from that. He's somebody who definitely has the fitness to get up and down, and according to Newcastle fans is one of their fittest players and was always like top of the charts in pre-season, but is somebody who is a little bit more, I would say, better on the defensive side of things. He has scored goals and is capable of getting forward and scoring goals. Newcastle fans describe him as a bit of a moments player, so a lot of the time he kind of is just a solid central midfielder who will keep the ball for you, but at times he can get forward and score worldies essentially. So first of all, I want to say that my initial reaction is that I'm a little bit underwhelmed by this, and the short that went out the other day, I kind of talked about how personally I think I would like to see another number 8 come in as well. In the short, I mentioned that I think it should be a number 8 that should come in and start, and Sean Longstaff should be on the bench. I know some people disagree with that. So potentially, yeah, there could be another signing that comes in and sits on the bench behind Sean Longstaff, because I feel like we need 2 players for that position. Last season, we only had Joe Rothwell in that position, and it meant that whenever Joe Rothwell wasn't available or injured, ill, whatever it may be, we didn't have another number 8 that could do anywhere near the kind of job that he could do. So we definitely need more than one player in that position, I feel. So let's get into what kind of player Sean Longstaff is then. Like I've kind of alluded to, he is a player who is going to try to keep the ball as much as possible. His pass completion rate this season is 84.5%, putting him in the 54th percentile, so about average for that. When we look at, I've got 2 seasons of comparisons here really. I've got the 2023-2024 Premier League season as well, because that's the season where he got a lot more game time because Tonali was obviously suspended from playing any kind of football for that period of time. So he did better in that season, so we'll have a look at that as well. But actually, interestingly enough, his pass completion was lower that season at 79.9% and down in the 40th percentile. So he's not actually that fantastic at keeping the ball. And usually I say, well, that's due to the fact that they play a lot of progressive passes, but he's actually very average for his progressive passes as well. In that season, 23-24, he was 4.75 progressive passes per 90, putting him in the 55th percentile. And last season, it was 4.51 per 90, putting him in the 47th percentile. So he's pretty bang average for his pass completion and progressive passes. So he's not exactly somebody who's going to keep the ball amazingly well like a Tanaka, but he's also somebody who's not going to be playing a massive amount of those forward progressive balls. A lot of the time he does like to play the ball sideways and backwards and keep the possession rotating with his teammates, which is, I mean, obviously he's an upgrade on Forshaw, but it kind of gives me that vibe a little bit in terms of the way he will just keep the ball at all costs by going sideways and backwards and not really having that kind of exciting ability to go forward. In terms of some of his other statistics then, like I said, not a ball carrier. This season, 0.45 progressive carries per 90, putting him in the 5th percentile. So he's really not carrying the ball forward. Even in a season where he had a full season of pretty much being the guy in midfield, 0.79 progressive carries per 90, putting him in the 20th percentile. So he's not somebody who's really going to carry the ball forward very often at all in a game. He's more likely to keep the ball moving. Defensively, he's pretty sound this season. Tackles 3.05 per 90, putting him in the 89th percentile. Blocks 1.92, putting him in the that's per 90, putting him in the 95th percentile. So yeah, he'll defend half decent for you and kind of be that guy to drop back and work hard. But in the other departments, just at the statistics side of things, he's not creating much. So when we look at his shot creating actions from the 23-24 season, 1.67 per 90 puts him in the 16th percentile. And this season, 1.58 per 90 also puts him in the 16th percentile. So is he creating that many chances for his teammates? No. This season, 0 goals and 0 assists. That season, he did get 6 goals. So when we actually have a look at that, non-penalty goals of that season, 0.2 per 90, put him in the 89th percentile. So yeah, he was creating shots for himself. And he had 1.34 shots per 90, putting him up in the 62nd percentile. So a bit above average for that. But he's not somebody who's going to do much on his own. He's not a guy that's going to drag you up the pitch. And this is kind of, it's not necessarily that it's underwhelming because it's Sean Longstaff. It's the mold of player that I thought we were going for that's kind of changed. We were looking at players who could drag you forward, who could create chances, who had high shot creating actions, and who could also take chances as well, and had a decent amount of goals in them as well. But when we look at Sean Longstaff, he's not going to carry the ball for you. He's not going to play the ball progressively very much either. And he's not going to be the guy that creates chances, scores goals. This is why I'm a little bit underwhelmed by it. I hope I'm proved wrong. I really do hope I'm proved wrong. I've seen mixed reviews from Newcastle fans about Sean Longstaff. Some of them saying, oh, thank God for that. Some of them saying, oh, he did really well for us at times. So, look, is he going to be the most dominant midfielder in the bottom half of the Premier League? No. It's not the worst signing in the world, and for the money, it's probably fair. But I just think, personally, I just hope it doesn't come back to bite us. Kind of, it's not going cheap, but it's kind of buying an average Premier League midfielder to kind of hopefully solve your problems down in the bottom half of the Premier League, and I'm a little bit worried about that. Let's talk about, because those stats, a lot of them, they look very, very poor. But when we actually compare them to other Premier League midfielders, you might get a bit more of an idea of saying, okay, well, hold on a sec, it's not so bad. So when we look at the 2023-24 season, which is when he had his kind of most amount of games in recent years, his statistics compare to players like Abdoulaye Doucouré for Everton, Scott McTominay when he was still at Manchester United, John McGinn for Aston Villa, Curtis Jones for Liverpool, Thomas Souček for West Ham, Oliver Skipp for Tottenham Hotspur, Jack Harrison for Everton. So he does compare half decent to Premier League midfielders in general, but his passing range isn't fantastic. He's not a fantastic ball carrier to me. He's a simple, solid midfielder who will try to keep the ball and recycle possession, essentially, which is why I don't think that he is particularly going to do that Rothwell job for us. I actually don't. So I'm a little bit worried about this one. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. But for me, Sean Longstaff, okay, yeah, he adds well to the squad. But personally, I mean, I've heard people say, like some of the other Leeds creators have said, he's not going to come and to sit on the bench. But personally, I would like him to, because I think we need better starting in certain games. In certain games, Sean Longstaff might be well suited to it. But I think if you sign in Anton Stack as well, Sean Longstaff doesn't offer enough going forward to be better than playing somebody like Stack as more of a holder alongside a Tanaka or an Ampadu. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Obviously, time will tell on this one, and it seems like we might get him across the line, and I hope he does well. I just think that we potentially could have done better, and probably should still try and go and get another central midfielder. Make sure you go and check out the Leeds Creator Cup down in the comments below, or down in the description below. Thanks for watching Leeds lately, and I'll see you in the next one.